Check it out. Let me tell you one.
Freedom for all!
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to another special episode of Let's Talk MMA. Today I have another special guest, Henry Corrales, who's fighting this Saturday at Bellator 170. Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen are going to be the main fight of that event, so I think it's going to be a huge event. Many eyeballs are going to be looking at that. So Henry Corrales has actually been with Bellator, but he had much success going up his career. We're going to go over that a little bit. So without further ado, let's give him a call and get to know Henry Corrales. Henry Corrales, what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
Now, we just chatted a second ago, and you go ahead and tell all the people, where are you and what are you doing right now?
Well, it's fight week, and I'm over here at H Bling and Brea getting some recovery with the, check this out, this spot's pretty cool. With the Normatec recovery boots for my legs, helps with lactic acid and stuff, and there's the cryo chamber out there of it's torture right there. But yeah.
Yeah, because with that chamber, what is the temperature that it hits?
Minus 240 degrees.
Whoa, I knew it was bad. Like, I knew it was freezing, but that almost sounds not healthy. But basically the idea is it's going to shock your body and it's going to go into recovery mode. Because
it's like a super advanced ice bath. It's one of the best things you can do for your body for recovery and just longevity.
And you've done it before?
Oh yeah, I've been doing it for a while now. They take good care of me here.
Sweet. No, it looks really nice. Looks very fancy. And you're in LA right now, right?
This is technically Orange County, but yeah, pretty much.
I get
We're
you.
on the border.
I feel you. Well, I'm from the Bay Area, so sometimes we have that thing. I'm from San Jose, and I live in Lathrop, so I get the idea. I know where you're at. Well, what I like to do is, I know that there's going to be some people that definitely know who you are, and there's going to be some people who may not have any idea, but this show that's coming up versus Ortiz and Sonnen, I think there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this show, so I'm happy that you're on it. But I want to go back really quick, because I've seen some interviews in the past that growing up, you actually weren't necessarily in mixed martial arts. You were kind of getting into some trouble and that type of thing. How did you find mixed martial arts? How did it kind of come your way?
Well, I would get in a lot of fights and stuff. You know, I was just a little wild. You know, always hanging out with my buddies, and you know how things happen. And
I do.
I got sick of getting in trouble, man. I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I've always thought about competing. You know what I mean? I boxed a little bit. I grew up playing sports. So I was like, dude, let's go for it. And I stepped in the gym, and first session, I was like, okay, I'm gonna become a professional fighter. Just like that. It's pretty cool. I
First
fell in love
day.
with it. Yeah.
So growing up, like in high school, did you do any you said you did boxing, but like, was that in school or off to the side? Did you do wrestling or anything like that?
No, I did a little bit of boxing, just just a little, nothing too crazy. And then I wasn't actually able to. I played like one semester of baseball and football and basketball, but after that it was all downhill. I got in so much trouble. I never was allowed to go to a regular high school.
Oh wow!
So I missed out a lot. So I did a lot of like recreational sports, like on the side.
Yeah, whatever you can get into, which it just kind of depends what your community has at that point.
Yeah.
Well, so you go into, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just going off of what I kind of researched. What is De La O Jiu-Jitsu? Is that your first gym that you started at?
Yeah, that was the first like real gym I started at. Before that, I was with Sam Liera and Vince Alatao at Hardcore Fitness Center.
Okay.
And and Delo, that's where I turned pro, and that's where my career really took off.
Well, speaking of that, I actually was looking at your record, which we'll get into in a second, your pro record, but I didn't find any amateur fights. You did have some amateur? You didn't have any?
Nah, fuck that. I did I did one like smoker. It's like a fight at a gym.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I I can't do this for free, and I was like, I'm turning pro.
Well, for us that don't know, how do you turn pro? Is it just a license? You just got to fill out the application?
Yeah, you get your pro card, you get a license, and you get approved by the California State Athletic Commission. And I was just training with a bunch of pros, so I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Well, I think one thing that, that I've noticed out of your fighting style, which this all makes sense to me, and that's why I kind of like to go back to the beginning, because I kind of like to tell a story. And you were a fighter. You were just a born fighter. You had it in you. It looks like you don't mind getting hit it doesn't bother you too much when I see your fights. Like, you just run through it for the most part, but you're only getting smarter and smarter out there. So now you're developing all these skills, and you started training at what age?
In my early 20s.
Yeah.
23, 22 or something.
So now you're what, 7 to 8
30.
years deep?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's start talking about your record. Now, looking at your record, when I go through these, they have color green for win and color red for loss. And I just thought of it right now when I was looking at it, but I was like, holy crap, this guy's the king of the cage. King, because that's where majority of your fights were. And when you were undefeated before you got into Bellator.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about that experience as you're kind of going through that, because that was a lot of fights before you finally made it to Bellator, but obviously plenty of experience.
Yeah. It was a good ride. I was time King of the Cage champ, and I got the call from Bellator, and they signed me, and and I was like, I'm ready to go, whatever, let's fight, I don't give a fuck, whoever, whatever. typical fighter stuff. And
yeah.
Then, 3 days later, they're like, all right, cool, you got Daniel Strauss in Missouri in like 3.5 weeks. And I was like, oh shit, all right, I had to lose like 30 something pounds, and then went out there and fought my heart out. But it definitely was a level step up in competition, and I learned a lot from that fight.
Yeah, I actually saw it, and I mean, it was a tough first round, but what I enjoyed was in the second round, it looked like on the feet, not only did he slow down, but you adjusted in your stand-up, and you started actually having success. But I knew that you took that on short notice, but you ended up doing that again. Did you do that versus Emmanuel Sanchez, or did you have a heads up on that?
I think I had like 4 weeks against him, but in that fight, he busted my teeth, dude, in the first round.
There they go. There they are.
Yeah.
You got that Dan Henderson thing going.
Yeah. So I fought my way back from that I lost a split decision, which I thought I won. No disrespect, but yeah. And then the Pitbull fight on like 12 or 13 days notice. So it's been a little rough, dude, but I'm having a blast.
Yeah, well, I would say that not only in losses do you learn the most, right? I mean, when you're winning and you're on top of the world, it's the highest high, but then a loss is the lowest low. But you just got to pick out the positives at it. And would you say that one thing you definitely don't want to do is take shorter notice fights like that?
Yeah. Well, right now, speaking with you, I don't want to take any short notice fights. But if you offer me a fight, I'm gonna step up and fight anybody. So it's hard to really say.
You're a fighter's fighter.
I mean? They could call me next week, and I just fought, and they'd be like, "Hey, you want to fight this guy?" And I'm like, "Fuck, all right."
And Bellator's done that.
I just can't say no, dude. I love to fight these guys.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about being a fighter, and it's one of those things. When an opportunity presents itself, I mean, of course, it might not pay off, but it could also pay off. And you haven't, that wasn't the great way. You didn't have big notices on these fights and all that going on. But did you also feel that level of competition from your last fight in King of the Cage to once you got to Bellator? Did you really kind of see, okay, I see the inches that I need to improve on to compete at this level?
Yeah, definitely. Well, these guys are ranked top 10 in the world, or out of the UFC. So it definitely was, and I showed up with the horrible basic game plan of we'll just fight. What? Fucking buy my mouthpiece, and I'm gonna fucking slang him. You know what I mean? And these guys are just they're a lot better than that, dude. So it's really forced me to step my game up all the way across the board. So it's made me nothing but better, and I'm at a better fight. I'm with a better team now, and dude, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, let's talk about that. So you went to Arizona, and I know this is actually what I mean for me as I'm really starting to dig into and meet fighters. What's crazy for me is like, people got to live, money's got to be made. At the very beginning, it's tough. So for you to have to not have to, but go to Arizona, which is nothing but benefits. So you went to Arizona with the lab with John Crouch, Benson, and this is your first full camp that you had with them. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it's actually my second technically because I got hurt before my last fight, so I wasn't able to compete. So I'm 2 camps deep with them, but this is my first fight.
Gotcha. But it's the experience has been like you just feel like this is the spot. This is where you feel at home.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's just a world-class gym.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? It's one of the best gyms in the world, so it's not like just like a bias or anything. It's just like, dude, this is the spot, whether I like it or not.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean?
I would figure that. I mean, having good coaches is definitely a good thing to have, but also just even having other high competition around you all the time,
dude,
it's like necessary, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys with experience, a lot of high level strikers, collegiate grapplers, and it's a good spot.
Awesome. Well, you seem happy about it. Now we're going up to Cody Bollinger. Now I know his career actually. He's what I call a straight up roller coaster, up and down. I don't know if you know, but he was actually in the Ultimate Fighter when it was Miesha Tate and Ronda Rousey. He was trying to go to 135 and he ended up quitting. And I guess now he's obviously a featherweight. But even his last wins have been up and down. So with this fight coming up, though, he has a lot of experience. I mean, you got to kind of have a game plan for him, or you kind of gonna feel it out as it comes?
Both. Yeah, both. There's always going to be a game plan. Of course, I'm right here on the whiteboard just thinking about all the things I can do, what he can do, this and that. But when it comes down to it, it's going to be a lot of instinct and stuff. So pretty much we're ready for whatever he has to offer.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, especially now that I have met you a little bit more. And I wasn't even sure. So we know Steve from MMA Games and Fighting, and he kind of mentioned,
the homie.
Yeah, he mentioned he was the homie, and so I was like, well, isn't he cutting weight? Like, I don't want to fight week. I know typically is it's fight week, so
yeah.
You came on and you're doing it. Obviously, you're chilling, you're relaxing, you look like in a relaxed mood, which is, to me, equals confidence, equals you're gonna have a good performance coming up. So I appreciate your time and kind of coming on during fight week. You're the man. Thank you.
Hey, dude, all the hard work is done. I'm just relaxing now, having a good time. It's all fun from here on out, dude.
Man, that's cool.
So,
I mean, this is a passion for you.
Thanks for having me. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love every part of it, even not eating.
If I didn't know any better, you'd be like a wrestler. I wrestled in high school, so I'm no pro by any stretch of the imagination. But whether it's losing weight, spitting and not eating what you want to eat, I mean, it's a grueling sport, I know. And then you have to go out there and go into a fist fight. So that's why fighters I put on a high pedestal. You guys are tough. You guys go through a lot, but the glory at the end of the line is great. Let me ask you this last question. Now, you're obviously in Bellator, which is a huge achievement. Obviously, this is one fight at a time, but what are your ultimate goals? What does your future look like to you?
I'm not exactly sure. I've been so wrapped up in just thinking about this fight, and the only thing I can say is that Bellator's been treating me great, dude. They've given me every fight. I called them and asked for the Pitbull fight on 2 weeks notice. I was like, hey, I'll fight that guy because nobody wanted to fight him. And I was like, dude, I'm right here. What's up? And they're like, all right, get on the plane. You're coming to Connecticut. And so I have nothing but respect for them. I love Bellator. So, hopefully everything works out between me and them.
Yeah, you know, and I'll throw this out there. This is just my 2
And
cents.
they're stepping their game up, dude.
This
You know,
event
it seems-
alone.
Yeah, all the Bellator fighters are pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what I was gonna say about that. I think the fan perspective is always like, oh yeah, do great at Bellator, so then you can make it to UFC and so on and so forth. But it's no big secret that with UFC, kind of the certain things that go on, and if you're happy at Bellator, if they're paying you well, I mean, why not be a champion and stay a champion with that organization? Is the way I figure it.
Yeah, you kind of cut out, but
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
the gist of it.
I think it's the ice chamber in the area is not giving us good reception. But basically, what I was saying was just, if you're happy with Bellator, obviously there's a belt to achieve. You know, obviously you can figure things out at that point. But
Yeah.
one fight at a time. You got Cody coming Saturday. Definitely looking forward to it. I know Benson is still with Bellator, which is, I mean, I just thought amazing when he moved over. We have Rory McDonald that's with them as well. I mean, Bellator is only increasing, and I think there's a bright future for all of you guys.
Yep, exactly, man.
Awesome, brother. Well, again, thanks a lot. Maybe if you at all have a little bit of time, maybe we could talk after the fight. But until then, best of luck and take care, brother. Thanks again.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, you got my number. Hit me up. Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Later, man.
Peace. There he is. Man, Henry's awesome guy, as you guys can see. I mean, in my mind, you know, especially as I start to meet more fighters and that type of thing, this 145 featherweight class is really starting to get stacked. It really is. And as I kind of see things changing, you know, people going up and down, he's been a featherweight this entire time. I kind of actually wanted to ask him just kind of about his diet and that type of thing, because it kind of seems that the best thing to do for most people is to kind of keep your weight low. So if that call comes up, it's not too surprising. You don't need to lose too much weight and that type of thing. But he's definitely a professional, as you can see. He went straight to it. He's been doing awesome. Bumps in the road at this level here at Bellator, which is it's the highest level. I mean, these are the best guys in the world. Just because they're not in the UFC doesn't mean anything. These are the top guys, and he's going out there. He is a fighter's fighter, and I see nothing but success in his future. But one fight at a time. It's this Saturday, Bellator 170. Check it out. And until next time, peace.